So you should use your own title. All right, so I'm actually going to take a quotation from Gerson's suggestion, although it looks like others also have good suggestions. And I'm just copying what he copied from the article, and I'm going to paste it right here. I'm going to make sure to put quotation marks around it so that there, it's clear what is quoted from the article and what are, separating that from my words. And I'm also making sure to put in an in-text citation here. So this is just the author's last name, Barry, in parentheses with a period at the end. There's no page number because we're using a web version of the article that doesn't have page numbers. Now, here I have my evidence of abuse. And I'm starting out with that, but I know that my paragraph needs to begin with a topic sentence. What is the point that I'm trying to make with this piece of evidence? Well, the point that I'm trying to make is that the men are not treated as though they're free adult human beings. So the men in the boys in the Bunkhouse article by Dan Barry were not treated like full adults. A clearly abusive situation. For instance, the article states that the men could be banished to their rooms and forbidden to watch television or listen to music. So this part is the topic sentence that establishes the idea of the paragraph. This second part, the quotation, is evidence. The quotation proves the point made in the topic sentence. And then for this last part, this is where we put our opinion. This is where we say what we think about this quotation and about this situation. Does anybody want to weigh in?
Are you speaking about the quotation that I posted into the chat?
Yeah. Gerson, what do you have to add?
Yeah, I think this is like clearly like a line has been drawn as far as abuse, in my opinion, as far as like banishing them to their rooms or I think this punishing them in order to get a better work ethic is kind of like this psychological abuse in a way to like kind of get people to work harder or better in their eyes, which I think is really messed up. And I think a lot of that still goes on now where people get written up at work and or singled out at work for certain things in order to
So I can't type quite as fast as you're talking, but this is very good. This is exactly the kind of commentary that I'm looking for in the third part of every paragraph. Clearly a line has been crossed, you've said. Banishing them to their rooms is a form of psychological abuse to try to get them to work harder. I'm concerned that this is something that still goes on in regular workplaces today, where abusive bosses try to pressure employees
or take advantage of them.
and right. So I'm really glad that you made that comment, because you are 100% right. This is a way of taking advantage of them, but we want to remain completely focused on the idea of this paragraph. So maybe in the next paragraph, and I'm going to hit enter and tab and say, the idea of the next paragraph might be taking advantage. But in this paragraph, this one that we've been working on here, this is a paragraph that is about these men being treated like children as a form of abuse. So, in the next paragraph, I think you might well want to find another quotation from the article that shows, for instance, that they were paid less than the minimum wage, and that paying them less than the minimum wage is evidence of them being taken advantage of. But I really like what Gerson is doing here, where what he's saying is focusing on the way bosses try to play little tricks on their workers. I'm gonna, if you don't do what I want you to do, then I'm gonna give you a bad shift. Or if you don't work as hard as I think you should work, then I'm gonna dock your pay, or for every shirt you don't fold, or whatever it is. So this, he's still commenting on this specific quotation, this specific situation. So this is a way of making your paragraphs really tight and focused. So I just want to finish out this paragraph. Clearly a line has been crossed. Banishing them to their rooms is a form of psychological abuse to try to get them to work harder. I'm concerned that this is something that still goes on in regular workplaces today, where abusive bosses try to pressure employees and use unethical and even illegal tactics to try to get us to work harder, or to comply with an with improper direction. So, in this case, this part of the paragraph is the explanation. What you think about the quotation or the focus of the paragraph. And then this would be if you start a new idea, begin a new paragraph with focused evidence.